Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is December 21st, 2025, and here are the top cryptocurrency news stories. Moving on, we'll head to the US and address two Bipartisan House of Representatives lawmakers unveil cryptocurrency tax framework. Two Bipartisan House of Representatives lawmakers have released a draft tax framework for digital assets. The discussion draft would exempt transactions involving regulated, stable, dollar-pegged cryptocurrencies worth less than $200 from capital gains taxes. The most notable provision of the bill concerns when mining and staking rewards should be taxed. Taxpayers could choose to defer tax on the rewards for 5 years, after which they would be taxed as ordinary income at fair market value. So that's what the new plan for cryptocurrency taxation in the US says. Next, we'll look at our ETFs and see that BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF has accumulated $25 billion in annual inflows. That's a good point because it puts BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF in 6th place among all ETFs, thanks to the numbers it has managed to achieve. As we've said before, this product makes a lot of money for BlackRock. To wrap up on our ETFs, let me also tell you that VanEck has made a new deposit to their Avalanche ETF to include staking. One of the things that caught my attention is that, in order to develop this service, VanEck will partner with Coinbase Crypto Services to provide some of the Avalanche they have in their ETF. Coinbase will stake on nodes they have for Avalanche and send back the returns. In order to do this whole process, they have to deposit 4% at the end of the service. At this point, let's tell Ms. VanEck that she could, with 2 to 3 employees, develop her own nodes for Avalanche and put the money in so that she could receive staking without such a high cost. Continuing, we will refer to a mistake that an investor made, which I constantly emphasize when transferring money. As a result, she lost $50 million. According to on-chain researcher Web3 Antivirus, the victim lost $49,999,950 after registering a spoofed address. Spoofed addresses rely on being as close as possible to the address you want to send your money to. They are entered into the victim's transaction history through smaller transfers. Someone sends very small amounts to addresses that are close to the ones you use in order to enter your wallet history. When victims want to send money, they can accidentally select this address instead of the one they really want. Let's say the most tragic part of the case is that the victim sent $50 in a transaction that they saw, that he went to the regular address and then sent the entire amount to an address that was obviously fake because he probably didn't double check what he put in because he thought the money would go after the first transaction was made. So be extra careful. Always double check your address and of course make test transfers. Moving on, it's time to go to our favorite cryptocurrency market, where Bitcoin is at $88,000. We're on our channel and everyone is coming out and making predictions about where the cryptocurrency market is right now and whether or not the quadruple cycle is there anymore. So just last week, Mr. Matt from Bitwise and Ms. Kathy Wood from ARK Invest gave their own take on whether or not there is a Bitcoin quadruple cycle, and they both pointed out that the ETF, along with regular and institutional acceptance, have integrated Bitcoin into the traditional financial system. Bitcoin is no longer a peripheral financial asset, and there is no reason to follow the same pattern today as it was years ago. So both believe that the quadruple cycle no longer exists. Moving on a little further, we will turn to Mr. Timmer, the global macroeconomic director of the financial asset giant Fidelity, a much larger giant who said that in terms of the market situation, it is winter, which Mr. Timmer believes is a bear market, and he argued that Bitcoin could go to the $65,000 to $75,000 range. From this article, we'll move on to something else that has emerged from Fundstrat, Tom Lee's fund, and what has emerged is a document on X, which says it's the internal site of the strategic funding firm for 2026, which warns of a significant drop in the first quarter of 2026. The document sets targets for Bitcoin at $60,000 to $65,000, Ethereum at $1,800 to $2,000, and Solana at $50 to $75. Now, let's say that this is not an official document that emerged from Fundstrat. It's just documents found on X. Some say that clients gave them to the network. Others say it may be one and lies. Now, speaking of Mr. Tom Lee, let me tell you that on December 5th, Mr. Tom Lee made predictions for the market. Predictions that were not widely heard, and he made them at Binance Blockchain Week. Now, let's say that Mr. Tom Lee is generally optimistic and believes that in the coming months, Bitcoin can reach $250,000. For ETH, if returns to its 8-year average rate, it can reach up to $12,000. But he believes that Ethereum can be embraced by the entire financial system of the world, and in general, everything will fall on it, resulting in its value reaching $62,000. So as we said, Mr. Tom Lee is very optimistic about the cryptocurrency market in general. That wraps up the top news for crypto today, December 21st, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care everyone, and have a good day.